everybody. We're at Wild Card Weekend. Coming off our best show of the year from what we've heard.
Yeah.
I don't know what made it so good. Let's take a look. I have no idea. I mean, it didn't seem like our best show, but we're not the judge, I guess.
Sometimes, minimalist.
Yes. We are. I thought this was going to be easy by the time we got to this point, but it actually hasn't. But the way things have been going for the last 3 weeks for us, we've actually been doing pretty good. When we pick every game, obviously it's more difficult than just specifically getting a couple of little games and trying to really do it. But when you do them all, you're not going to be able to get 100%. It's impossible. But actually, the ones we've been picking, we had hit a small one with a 6.5 point teaser last week, which helped us out pretty good. This week, I'm actually a little torn on a couple of these games, but I think I see what's going to happen in the long picture. We're going to go over our picks first, and then we're going to kind of map it out for you, like how we think it's going to go. We actually differ on a couple of things, and it's more on the NFC side, I think, from what I saw. So.
Yeah.
But first up, we've got Houston at home. They're a 4-point favorite over Cincinnati. Unfortunately for Houston, you lost everybody. You're down to T.J. Yates, who's not played very well, or hasn't won any games. Let's put it that way in the last 3. Cincinnati, though, going into Houston, I'm afraid they're not going to be able to overcome Texas defense. I'm going to go ahead and take Houston to win this game, but Cincinnati to actually cover the 4 points. Look for a very close 1-point game, maybe a last-minute field goal that's going to pull out. Look for a low-scoring game, so I'm taking the under on the 38 points right now.
I agree. I'm going to take Cincinnati to cover 4. I like Houston to win the game. First playoff game for the Texans. All the injuries have finally caught up to them the last 3 weeks, like you said. But you've still got a solid defense. You've got a solid running game. Cincinnati last week, Ray Rice, two carries of over 50 yards each. You got to think Foster will have a good game. But defense will win this game. Both teams have good defenses. I like Houston at home to get their first playoff victory, and I agree. I think it's going to be a 2017 kind of game. I'm taking the under on the 38 points also.
Yeah, I was thinking maybe 14-17, or not 14-13 maybe.
Won't be surprised if Cincinnati wins, but I like Houston here to win the
I wouldn't be surprised either. That's what scares me when you're doing parlays.
Yeah.
Next up, we have the New Orleans Saints, a 10.5 point favorite over Detroit. I just came last week, and I was down actually in the Gulfport, Biloxi. The whole thing is like one big New Orleans Saints, jizz fest down there. According to them, it's already wrapped up, and they've had the Super Bowl trophy, running up and down the coast already. But I'm actually going to agree with them because I'm taking New Orleans in this one at 10.5 points. Being at home, New Orleans just looks like just world beaters, and I don't think Detroit is going to be able to go in there and stop them, even though they've got a decent defense this year. Unfortunately for you guys, you got to go on the road. I think if this was at home, you might actually be able to eke out a win. On the road, though, I just look for Drew Brees and them just to put a pounding on them, and I don't think they're going to be able to cover the 10.5. 59 is the over/under. I'm with Brian on this one, and we were talking a little earlier that I'm going to take the over too, but not much over. Maybe a 32-28 game. Does that cover it?
That's 16.
Yeah, that covers it. So,
yeah. Show me a team scores 32. It doesn't happen often, but I agree. Yeah.
We're going to see a safety. But yeah, go ahead and give me New Orleans and give me the over on the 59.
I agree New Orleans will win this game. I like New Orleans to win this game. Where we disagree, and I agree with the over. I think this is going to be a high scoring. In fact, I think both NFC games are going to be somewhat high scoring. So I would take the over on the 59. The last time they played, earlier this year, didn't have Ndamukong Suh. Detroit was kind of a tailspin somewhat. 31-17 was the final. It was a 7-point game in the fourth quarter. Detroit offensively didn't look good that game, but they hung in there and kept it close. I like Detroit to cover 10.5 here. I think this is going to be an exciting game, high scoring, but I do like New Orleans to end up winning the game.
New Orleans just has a feel like when they won the Super Bowl a few years ago, it just feels like they are like that freight train right now that's just humming, and I don't think there's anything going to stop them. Possibly Green Bay, but...
And you got to think, last year they got humiliated in Seattle. in the first round of the playoffs.
Yeah, should have been us.
I think they've got a little chip on their shoulder from that too. So we'll see what happens.
Next up, we have the New York Giants at home, a 3-point favorite over Atlanta. I am actually going to take Atlanta, and the reason being is New York has looked actually fairly decent their last few games, but unfortunately they've played like the Cowboys. When it just seems like when the Cowboys and Redskins, they're playing division games where it seems like it's kind of like when you put everybody in the same pot. You're going to have a team that looks better, but I don't think the NFC East was that great, to be honest with you. Atlanta, I think, is going to be able to go on the road and actually pull out a win. 47.5 points, take the over on that.
Wow, we agree. I'm like you. The Giants, they play well. You kind of get going. Yeah, this team, they figured it out, and everyone's saying, "Oh, this is a team that come from the back of the pack and really make the show in the playoffs." I think this game, it comes down to who can run the ball. Ahmad Bradshaw, a little dinged up. You got Jacobs. I could see Turner having a really good game and really being the linchpin for winning this game for Atlanta. I'm going to take Atlanta to win this game. It's my upset pick for the playoffs, or at least for this round, and I'm going to take the over too.
Yeah. Next up, we have Pittsburgh, all banged up, and going into play the Broncos. They're 8.5-point favorite. This has actually been going down over the course of the week or during this week. I'm going to take the Broncos to cover this game. I don't know if they're going to win it. Even today, like watching SportsCenter and stuff like that, you're seeing that they're talking about pulling Tebow already, and it just seems like it's too much uneasiness there. Pittsburgh at least has a solid foundation, even though they've lost their center. Mendenhall's not playing. Ben Roethlisberger's on one leg. They've got one really good receiver, Mike Wallace. I think they're going to eke out a win. This might be a field goal battle, but I do look for the Broncos to actually cover the 8.5, just because Pittsburgh's so banged up and they do have a defense. So
I'm gonna disagree with something.
That's it.
They've still got Antonio Brown, hell of a wide receiver. You can't just say they just have Wallace.
Yeah.
Emmanuel Sanders. They've got some good offensive players. This is my lock. I'm taking Pittsburgh to cover here. Denver has just been struggling. You're going against Pittsburgh's defense. You're not going to get any cheap points. I like Pittsburgh to win this easily. I'm going to take the under also. I'd be surprised if Denver could score more than 7 or 10 points in this game, but I've been wrong many a time.
Yeah,
so.
I'm definitely taking the under on that too. Earlier in the week, it was actually I put a 6.5-point teaser on one of my parlays. So actually, I'm getting almost like 40 points for the end of there. So that was like just a no-brainer. And anyway, all right. Well, that's what we got for this week. We're just going to kind of, where obviously we have two different scenarios here. How this is going to play off to the playoff or through the Super Bowl. So obviously, one of us is going to be wrong. So we're not going to be right. So we'll probably update this as we go throughout the playoffs. The way I'm seeing it right now, I've got New Orleans playing San Francisco next round. And actually, New Orleans winning this one. I don't think San Francisco is going to have and this is just like I said for right now. I don't think San Francisco is going to have the offense to keep up, even though they got a great defense. And then I got Green Bay actually beating Atlanta. I think this is going to be actually a fairly easy win for Green Bay. You got a well-rested Aaron Rodgers, Greg Jennings back in the mix, so no problem there. I've got New Orleans and Green Bay playing for that Super Bowl bid. I've actually got New Orleans right now upsetting Green Bay. I think Green Bay is kind of. It's hard to say that when they just had a guy, their backup quarterback, get 50-something points or whatever it was. But I really think New Orleans is going to be tested. It's going to be the rematch from Week 1. I look for New Orleans to come back and actually win this game and make it to the Super Bowl. In the AFC side, I've got Houston playing Baltimore. I've got Baltimore beating Houston. Houston's too banged up to get past this next round after Cincinnati. I've got Pittsburgh playing New England. Same thing with Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's too banged up to get past New England, I think. I've got New England and Pittsburgh. I think this is going to be an easy game for New England at that point, and it's Baltimore, got a defense, whatever. But I really think New England will coast in this game. New England, New Orleans wins another Super Bowl. That's how I got playing out right now. If something else happens, we'll readjust. But for now, that's how I kind of see it going.
I've got New Orleans playing San Francisco. San Francisco, as of late, their secondary has given up some big plays. Even the Rams scored 27 points. I like New Orleans to win that game. Atlanta, Green Bay would be my next matchup. Green Bay, like you said, at home, I just can't root against them. I'm going to take Green Bay to win that. You have New Orleans at Green Bay. A little different than the first time they played. It was September. It was warm. This is the frozen tundra of Green Bay.
Not like this week because it's 75 degrees.
Well, yeah, exactly. Well, we think it will be. I can't see New Orleans being able to function offensively the same they do inside that dome out in outside weather like that. So I'm taking Green Bay to go back to the Super Bowl again this year. In the AFC, agree. Houston, too banged up. They may get one win, no more than that. I like Baltimore advancing. Pittsburgh, New England. When it comes to the playoffs, it's defense wins championships. New England, I've had problems with their defense all year. As good as they are offensively, and as banged up as Pittsburgh is, I like Pittsburgh to upset New England if they get there. So you're going to have a rematch of Baltimore-Pittsburgh. I got to take Baltimore in that matchup. Tough to beat a team 3 times, but I think it will happen again. Green Bay, Baltimore. I've got Green Bay repeating as Super Bowl champions.
You just pissed off the whole Bayou, man.
Well, that's your country. You made them proud. I'll piss them off. That's fine.
All right, that's kind of how we see it. Obviously, like I said, we have 2 different opinions on how it's going to go, so one of us is going to be readjusting after this week, or not
both
after
of
this
us.
week. Or
All
both.
4 of our teams are going to lose, and we'll be like, what?
Exactly. We'll see how we did. We'll see you guys next week, and that's all I got. See ya.
Take care.